Fáilte Ócáide, you're welcome indeed to another edition of the programme. Well, this week we are taking a trip down memory lane. The name Brose Walsh Band is synonymous with thousands of people who danced to the famous County Mayo band over the decades. A special tribute to the late band leader, Brose Walsh, was held recently in the Linenhall Arts Centre, Castlebar, with a photo exhibition, archive material documenting the famous band's 86 years in entertainment. There was also a live performance from the family band.
Tommy, how did you come up with this idea for this tribute to the great Brose Walsh?
Well, Henry, I always thought there was a great social history to Brose's life. I always thought that, right? And from listening to stories over the years, Tomas telling me about Brose playing, starting the band in 1937, the same time as Stephen Garvey started here in Castlebar, and his orchestra started here in Castlebar. At the very same time, he built the hall in Linenhall, right? He went off then, and I heard stories like he played in Camden. He was the first band to play in a bunker in Camden Town in London, all right? After the Second World War in 1945, and he was the first band or orchestra to start the dances there. But he was right over there. I could also think about the effect he had on people's lives, those who emigrated. And when he went over to England and went over to America, and he played all those songs, those sentimental Irish songs, or maybe doing the Siege of Venice, or doing the Stack of Barley, or doing Goodbye Mother, Shawnee Gavin singing Goodbye Mother Dear, and he dressed up as Mrs. Brown, you know. And there was a fantastic social history to his life. I felt that Brose needed to be recognised as a great ambassador for Mayo, and the least we might do is present him with a posthumous award, which we did tonight, with Al Maton, the chairman of the Municipal District Council, tonight, and it was lovely. It was lovely to see Father Brian Darcy here, and to see Michael Collins here, and so many tributes to the great Brose. There was only one Brose, B-R-O-S-E. I don't know of any other Brose in the country, right? But it was just brilliant, right? And the way it turned out, the crowd that turned out, and tomorrow night is packed again tomorrow night. I'm really pleased the way it turned out. And
you also brought out a lovely booklet as well to mark the occasion.
I did, yeah. I brought out a lovely booklet here. It's a very simple thing. It's a book. It's a Brose in the front there, and the guest speakers, and you can see there a small bit of his history, and you can see there where this is about the Linenhall. The whole thing started out with a small exhibition, and it just grew and grew into a monster, right? And Elaine came up with the idea of, hang on now, we'll have, first of all, we'll do a documentary, first of all, right? Secondly, we'll do the exhibition. Third thing, we'll digitise everything. We'll scan everything, all right? And when everything is scanned, we'll get a permanent home for it. So Brose's legacy is secure. Now, I don't know where the home is going to be, whether it's going to be the Linenhall or whether it's going to be the Museum of Country Life. I think that's the hope that one. So, and where students of this generation can go and study what happened during Brose's time.
We were told that love stories begin in Trivago. Not really true. Love stories also began in Balgara, in every other country I mentioned. But I have to say that in spite of all of the promises made by Tomas to me, he failed to find a woman for me.
Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but we'll travel along singing a song side by side. Oh, we don't know what's coming tomorrow. Maybe it's trouble and sorrow.
John, you were a personal friend of the late Brose Walsh himself.
I was indeed, Henry. I knew him way back for a long time, from his early days in the music scene. And I knew him as a community man as well, because I worked in the county council. I would have had a lot of dealings with him on community level, you know. Well, Brose was a great showman, he was a great musician, he was a great performer, an innovator, but he was also a very kind man, and I think that's not often talked about. But he was a man exceptionally kind to people. He never made a big song and dance about it. And even the way he treated his former band members and looked after them in their old age and so on. And indeed the lads have carried on that tradition after him, you know. But yeah, he was a unique individual, and it's great to see him honoured tonight at this function.
Jerry, there's a great connection between yourselves in Midwest and the Brose Walsh Band, because a particular piece of music you've been playing since day one has been synonymous with the Brose Walsh Band.
Absolutely. Now, Zambezi is the piece that you're referring to. Don't ask me how it came to be, because if I remember rightly, we started the Pirate Midwest in '85, and I think Brose Walsh would have recorded Zambezi in '87, that first album. But anyway, it came to be. How it came to be, I don't know. And funny enough, only the other day we were reminiscing about this. And maybe 10 or 15 years in, it was decided that we might drop it, because it had served its time and it had done its thing and life had moved on and people wouldn't know what we were talking about and was old-fashioned. So we tried it for about a week or so, and oh my God, the backlash was something else. No way would people have it. It had to go back to Zambezi. So whatever it is, 35, 36 years on, it's Zambezi all the way. And you know something, Henry? It's going to see us through. It'll be there when we'll be gone.
Pat, can you remember your first encounter with the Brose Walsh Band? Because I know you've been booking bands and been involved in the band business for many decades now.
Yeah, I have, but I didn't quite get back to the 1930s now, mind you. But my first encounter with the boys was when I was in short trousers. And of course, that time there was a lot of weddings. We used to do 120, 130 weddings a year. And I was responsible for giving them the tea and sandwiches, right? So I remember all the old guys, Sean Burke and Jamie Gavin, and it's just so many. But there were great times, and there were nice people to deal with. And one person I would like to point out is Mrs. Walsh, Brose Walsh's mother, Brose Walsh's wife, who would always answer the phone to take the bookings, because we used to ring out and Belcara and to give them the booking. So they're a nice family and they've done well, they worked hard, and the boys all had their own jobs to keep, as well as playing in the middle of the night in Dublin or Cork or wherever it was. So they've done well and I wish them the best.
Michael, of course, you would have been very familiar with the Brose Walsh Band for many years.
Oh, well, of course I was, and Brose was, you know, he played at my brother's wedding back in 1975. Long time ago, Henry, a long time ago, but he was a great character, and the Walsh family, you know, they were steeped in music. And I have to say tonight, it's so classy to see all the exhibition. It's fantastic. And the history that's there. And I'm delighted that you're here to record the history of the Brose Walsh Band. As people said here tonight, they played all over the world. They were always ahead of the posse. They were always able to provide the goods on whatever night they were playing, or whatever they were playing, or whatever they had to play. They were fantastic. And they've really kept music alive in the county, in the good old days and in the bad old days.
Michael, you were MC for this evening's event, a very special evening, isn't it, for Mayo and indeed for the music business?
It's a lovely evening, Henry. It's an extraordinary rare. I'm not sure if there's any place in the country that has this, in the world perhaps. The band will be almost 86 years since they were originally launched by the lad's father, Brose Walsh, back in 19. 1937 it was, yeah, just out the road near Belcarra there. So it's an amazing night, and as you can see, the 2 nights are sold out here. It's lovely appreciation from the people of the County Mayo and this general area around Castlebar for them as well. I'm delighted for them.
And particularly about the diaspora.
Yeah.
And what it meant for them, for the Brose Walsh Band to be touring.
Well, it meant a lot for them because we've often, coming from this county, we would be probably more familiar with immigration than probably any county, with the exception of possibly Galway and Donegal and Kerry maybe, but all along the western seaboard, probably down to West Cork as well. But it would have been a huge thing in County Mayo. I often said there's hardly a family from the area that didn't have somebody who had an address in England or some part of America over the years. And when they went out, Brose Walsh was one of the first to fly the Atlantic with the band, to the Atlantic Gander Airport, and then down to a place like Yeager House in New York and all of that. And that was in the late 1950s. It was an amazing thing. They were about the 4th or 5th Irish band to do that. And all through the years then they have gone to England and Scotland and played all the Irish dance halls there. And wherever they went, they were seen as recognised as the band from County Mayo. And as I said there, Voice in the County Mayo always features in their programme. And it is a great song. It's a beautiful song, and it speaks to the heart. And it's a song that unites us from Blacksod up to Shrule.
I'm delighted to be here as last Cathaoirleach of County Mayo for such a night that celebrates an icon, certainly in the music business. The Brose Walsh Band stretches over 86 years. Imagine from 1937, where they started out on a bicycle, and all through the war years, and all through the decades, and all that came and the music changed, all the way in the big show bands came and went. And all of that happened, and Brose Walsh's band survived and thrived through all of that. And not alone did they do it here in Mayo, where they started in the heart of their own county, but they were international by all acclaim. They were countrywide, they played in Northern Ireland, right through England and Scotland, and went to America and done tours abroad in Europe. They were just phenomenal. And the way they could reinvent themselves and keep up with the modern music as the modern music changed and what people wanted, they were there to change with it and give people what they wanted. And my God, you can see it reflected here tonight with the celebrations that's here, and with they're playing inside now into a packed hall inside, and they started off tonight with the boys from the County Mayo, the Isle of Innisfree, the songs that their father would have sang all those decades ago, and it brings back those memories to all generations. And there's people in there tonight from all generations. Our family, three generations of the one family are in there tonight, still enjoying Brose Walsh as if it were in the 60s or the 70s or the 50s. It's fabulous, a fabulous night, and I'm delighted to be here for that with you, Henry.
Well, it all started with Tom O'Malley. He approached the Linenhall, and I was actually just happened to be working in here on another project at the time. So Fiona Neary said, I want you to talk to this man here. We sat down. He himself and Thomas Welch told me about what they had, the archive of photographs, all of the articles, all the different pieces that they had. And of course, my mind started going and thinking, this could be something even bigger. So Fiona had agreed that we'd do the 2 nights gigs in the Linenhall, and then we thought, okay, we'll do the exhibition. And I thought, I'd love people who can't make it here tonight and tomorrow night to be able to see it and to experience, to get the story, because it just sounded like such a wonderful story. So I applied to Creative Ireland for funding, and then I got on to Sean and we started working on the documentary.
So what can people look forward to in the documentary, Sean?
Just the story really of more so Brose and the history of the band, and it's that simple, you know, from the start of it in 1939 all the way to now. It's a small bit of archive material, mostly photographs for the archive. I used some older black and white footage of Belcara. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of video archive, but you know, it's because the band is around so long. There wasn't a lot of people with cameras when they started, you know.
It'll be on the Linenhall YouTube channel and yeah, freely available for anyone to see.
Father Brian, lovely to see you here in Castlebar. What are your earliest memories of the Brose Walsh Band?
I don't go that far back really. I've been in the mid-70s, which is only 50 years ago. And they were a very old band at that time, you know, because they were founded so many, 40 years at that stage. And we never thought we'd see them again. I used to see them when they came to Dublin. Those times there were 10 ballrooms in the centre of Dublin, and they'd vary between the Irish Club, the National, and Christy Guns, the Iron. So I was going around all the ballrooms anyway, and sure, I got to know them all. You got to know them before and on. I got very happy to have got to know Brose, because he was a very gentle, quiet man, and he obviously knew the band business inside out, and knew how to, you know, how to run programs that would suit a farmer show or a country show, and he was very popular in Dublin at the old time dancing, strict time and dancing. There were a number of, even in the era of the show bands, there were still a number, Maurice Mulcahy, Mick Delahunty, and Brose Walsh. They were the big bands coming to Dublin, and people loved them as a change from the show band thing, because they could dance properly to ballroom dancing and things like that. So they were very popular at that stage, and I often had chats with them and talked to them, and they'd talk about old times, and you know, it was a great lesson for me to hear that, you know.
Lovely to see you here in Castlebar, and enjoy the evening.
And thank you, Henry, and thanks for all you do for bands too. Thank you.
You enjoyed the show?
Oh, excellent. But I mean, I have heard the Brose Walsh Band many times over the last 40 years, and Henry, it's better they're getting. They're like good wine. They get better with age.
They were really brilliant in there tonight, them days, wouldn't they? Bring it back to the old sounds of Brose Walsh, wouldn't it?
Would you have danced to Brose?
Oh, jeez, we did in the Grove one time, yeah. In Bunnyconn, yeah. Oh, fair play to him. He was a great old warrior.
Great.
Fantastic night. It's, you know, the boys can really do it, and great to see them so healthy, and music was brilliant. Really good.
And of course you're a brass player yourself, you know about the trumpet.
Played trumpet and saxophone, and my dad is in there on the wall there, the pictures and that, for playing with them for 40 years, so it's good to see.
So it's a special night for you then, your family.
Brilliant night, night to remember. Fantastic.
Same as that, obviously myself and Paul are two brothers, and our father had played with Brose Walsh for years, and I think he'd actually taught some of the lads when they started off playing saxophones and trumpets and stuff like that, but it was great to see the photographs and nice to meet the lads. They're a lovely family, and just want to wish them continued success, and may they continue to play for many more years to come, you know. So it's great night.
Beautiful.
Oh, it was mighty altogether now, and the sound so good, the same as they did 60 or 70 years ago.
It was lovely, absolutely lovely. It brought us back to the 50s and the 60s when we were very young, and when the ladies were on one side of the town hall, this town hall here, and the men were on the other, and there was a rush to get the girls for the first dance. You know, it was beautiful. It brought back many members, and there was some beautiful music there. The soloists, the saxophonist and the trumpet player. Terrific, absolutely terrific. Oh, memories.
Fiona, what was your first initial reaction when this project was proposed and put to you here at the Linenhall?
I think when Tommy O'Malley arrived in with a plastic bag with a hole in it and said, "There's magic in this bag," I said, uh-oh, here we go. Anyway, we had to look in the bag. We started listening, because that's what we do in the Linenhall. We listen. And we realised Tommy was right. There was magic in the bag. But how to get it from the bag to fill our foyer with the story of 86 years. So we listened, because that's what we do. And we thought, this is the local magic. And we were all about the local magic. So what we realised very quickly, though, was to get it to a standard where people could enjoy it, we needed to do good production.
And the music aspect, was that initially part of it, or did that come afterwards?
No, the vision immediately was to have the live performance, absolutely, and to have the generations on stage and to capture that. But the vision had a few parts, and the other part was, to capture the history, display the history, the letter from Nixon's administration, also how to display all of that, and also how to honour the founder, to make the presentation, the posthumous presentation as we did tonight. So there was, different aspects to it. So what we thought was, let's go for all of it.
I get a bit lonely when I say this, but here we are at the Brose Walsh Band. We're still playing and doing our bit, and hopefully we'll continue on as long as we can with God's help.